up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we'd love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now I'd like to give you guys my thoughts on the new 3-episode series on Hulu called Sasquatch. Now, if you've been around this channel for a while, you know that I'm a big fan of Bigfoot shows, cryptozoology shows, like Expedition X, Expedition Unknown, Destination Truth. This is all stuff that I've really been into. I have a Discovery Plus subscription just so I can watch these shows. Now, obviously, this is not on Discovery Plus. This is on Hulu. But the second that I see a new series about Sasquatch, yeah, I'm in. I'm going to watch it. And I watched this Hulu series today. And it being a Hulu series, that offered up potential for that we don't necessarily get on our Discovery Plus series. This was a very in-depth this wasn't really a series as much as it was an in-depth 3-part documentary. And I think that the people who tune into this strictly for Bigfoot, they run the risk of being disappointed. Really what this is this is an investigation into some murders that took place in California in 1993 on in a pot field. And the murders were believed by many to have been committed by Sasquatch. Now, the guy who makes this documentary, by the way, the documentary there's parts of it that's told really cool through animation. Some really neat animation is used to tell the different theories behind what might have happened on that night in 1993. But this is not a documentary that approaches Sasquatch as being the killer. This is a documentary that approaches humans as being the killers. This is a documentary that approaches humans as being the monsters, and that Sasquatch was something that was concocted by humans to cover up this horrific murder that honestly may or may not have taken place. At this point, I mean, it's really a fascinating story in the sense that it's this rumored series of murders that may or may not have taken place. There's really no body, there's no police report, all there is local legend. And that's what they do in this. They really dive into the local legend behind the murders, behind Sasquatch, behind what it means to be a dope farmer in California, and how those three things have kind of interacted with each other to kind of create this this perfect storm of a story that has just gained a lot of local notoriety in that part of California. I love the fact that Bobo from Finding Bigfoot, he appears in this as somebody that is being interviewed. But even though he appears in this, and even though there is some talk about what Sasquatch is and how Sasquatch could live and how Sasquatch could operate and whether or not Sasquatch could be violent, etc., etc., this really isn't a look at Sasquatch so much as it is a look at human beings and the way that human beings will do horrible stuff to each other, and how human beings can be monsters to each other. And that's really where the crux of this show lies, is that human beings are the real monsters, not some probably fictional animal that lives in the forest. It's us that's monster to each other, and it's us that's horrific to each other. So the story, the background to these murders, the story, the way that this investigation was meticulously and methodically done, very entertaining, very gripping. I was gripped, even when it became obvious that this wasn't necessarily about Sasquatch, that this was more about the story, I was already gripped by the story. So I had to finish it because I was intrigued by what was going to happen next. But again, this was not necessarily a Sasquatch documentary as much as it was a look into the legend. So, do I recommend this? Yeah, absolutely I recommend this. This was a very well done documentary 3-parter. But if you are a Bigfoot lover and you're only watching this because you want to see a new Bigfoot investigation, that's not what you're going to get here. This is not a Bigfoot investigation. This is an investigation into a cold case, or not even really a cold case. This is an investigation into local legend. And the local legend isn't Bigfoot, but it's a murder. That's a series of murders. So just know that going in, and if you're still good with watching it, I think you're going to have a good time with this. So that's kind of where I land on the new Hulu series Sasquatch. So what did you think of this? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you later.